Hi guys, Yuki here, back with Seduce Me. I know I've been taking quite a bit of a break.
Whoa! They
Whoa!
really know how to dress well, don't they?
Alright, not my intention, but yeah, so I'm gonna be busy most of this week, so I'm only gonna be able to have upload like maybe one video this week, because I have a friend over coming, my friend's been over for like basically this week, and we're gonna be doing a lot of outdoor activities to my, I guess, I'm not much of an outdoors person, but it is nice to be out and about, especially when it's such nice weather. So yep, we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff, and that leaves less time for me to do other things. But hopefully we can get back right on schedule like next week. And also a little heads up, I am going to be going on vacation in a few weeks. Going to Mexico to go visit family, and that's gonna be from July 16th to August 4th. Hopefully, like I can get in a lot of videos before then and just like quay them or something. But if not, like I'm definitely gonna take my laptop with me, and there's going to be internet. I can attempt to um, do some recordings over there. But yeah, other than that, let's just get right back into the game and skip the party because it does not have an effect on anything with Suzu, really. Do 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 do. I'm ready. Skip. Don't care about your dad because he's mean. I'm doing my best.
I'm so sorry about your grandfather passing away.
Yep, yep, yep. Thank you for your condolences.
Do you have college?
Yes, I do.
What do you think will happen?
That depends on who
What
runs
do you
it.
think of the philanthropy?
Policy that represents
Do you think the
values.
company should expand from just toys?
It's a possibility. No, 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 doesn't matter. Place your hand in his. Be courteous.
I'm honored to be in.
Even though I don't have to be. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Come on, computer, don't die on me. Thank you. And if you do see a lag in the voice/video thing, like I said, playing my computer, hopefully, I'll be able to get a better specs sometime soonish. But that just really depends on how things go. I looked at Andrew, who had a kind face to me, but I'm just gonna skip. No, 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 stay put. Skipping. We're gonna pass the Malix thing too because it doesn't matter either. Wait, did I just miss something? No. Get out of my house. Skip. Duck. Skip. Where was my life going anyway? I was under pressure from my parents, with only my friends and the boys to comfort me. Without the boys, I'd have no way to hide from my responsibilities. Enough, let's just sleep and deal with tomorrow when it comes. Defeating my sense of thought, I forced myself to sleep, unsure what tomorrow had planned for me. Hopefully, whatever the future had for me, I would be ready for it.
I promise to be with you forever. You're so important to me.
I swear I'll give my life to you.
Please, let me love you.
I'll be by your side, always.
I can't imagine living without you.
I want to be with you.
I love you.
I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. 7 a.m. Why am I up so early? I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, trying to go back to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why? It's too early to be even alive. I gave up and sat up, staring at the fireplace across from my bed. A sigh escaped from between my lips before I threw my legs over the side of the bed. what to do at 7 a.m. in the morning. Go make some coffee. I decided making coffee was my best bet in surviving the rest of the day. Man, I could have had that chance. I'm gonna go back for a sec because I just realized that there's a certain thing that can trigger if you look at stuff. Be back in a sec. I am back. Alright, we're gonna choose explore the house. I decided it was a good idea to wander around the house. I never really explored it much as a child, so there were bound to be new surprises. Well, come on, feet. Let's go on an adventure. I stood and exited my room, hoping that the boys were still asleep. I began to wander the halls in my end of the house, exploring each door to find what room each door led to. Quickly, I found an old office. A desk and a chair sat by the far side as a large bookshelf of documents and memorabilia donned its nooks and crannies. There were a couple of pictures of me growing up, peeking from the shelf as I walked further into the room. I don't believe I've been in here before. I try to recall memories of ever seeing this room, coming with nothing as a result. This room was new to me. Did I want to disturb the furniture? I'm curious. I gently opened the shelves and any drawers I saw in the room, and a couple of them were books and even sewing kits. I assumed they were used by my grandfather's toys, so I left them alone. One drawer, however, was locked no matter how many times I pulled. Grr, come on, open! Nothing. It wouldn't budge. The drawer beside it, though, revealing a laptop. Why is there a laptop in a drawer? I lifted it from the drawer and carried it over to the desk and chair, opening it. It was a high-tech laptop with a retina scanner as a pass lock. I was not sure whether it would try to unlock it or not. Try? I decided to try. I turned on the computer and leaned my face near the retina scanner, lining the camera up with my eye. To my surprise, I heard a ping coming from the computer before the screen opened to a desktop. Huh, look at that. On the desktop were documents and folders labeled by the different aspects of the Anderson Company. Taxes, profits, bylaws, products, the list went on and on. If I really did want to become the CEO of the Anderson Toys Company, I had everything about it at my fingertips. Dad would sure be impressed. One icon, however, stood out from the rest. Virago? I double-clicked the icon, but no window came up. Instead, I heard a large click come from the drawer that was locked. What the? I slowly left my seat and walked over to the drawer, attempting to open it again. It slid open smoothly in the direction of my pulling hand, revealing two books. One was a plain black journal with a tie to keep it closed. The other was bound in leather with the cryptic symbols all over the cover. I took out the journal and skimmed through it, seeing my grandfather's notes. They were all detailed explanations and options on his findings on demon magic. He really did know about magic. I sat down at the desk and read through the journal further, finding drawings and sketches of symbols and magic circles, each with their own different meanings and effects. It was all fascinating. There was even a page of important spells to know. I read through them, trying to memorize them in my head. I don't know what came over me, but I started to feel more energetic and more powerful simply reading my grandfather's notes. I was suddenly aware of the energy that surrounded my body and the power that was around the house. The more I read, the more powerful I became. However, my mind suddenly froze and I found myself walking back to the drawer, putting the book back and closing the drawer. The lock reset and I snapped out of it. Huh? What? I shook my head and looked at the drawer, realizing what I had done. I walked over to the desk to reopen the lock, but suddenly felt the need to stop. Something held me back, and I didn't want me to pry any more than I already had. I was curious beyond belief, but I obeyed my thoughts for now. Eventually, I would come back and look into it. I returned to bed, feeling the weight of the morning drag me under my covers to try sleeping again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday and nothing was happening today. Come on, eyes, back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? I sighed, got changed in normal clothes, and went out to the main hall and sat on the stairs. Sundays were very boring. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Huh? And we don't need to worry about them. Don't disturb them. Skip. Pizza. Skip. Go to your room and eat. I decided against bothering them. They knew where the food was, so I went to my room instead and ate alone in my room. It's not my problem. I turned on my computer and started to jam to music as I ate my food. As I ate, I began to think about going out. There were so many places to go, though. things to do. The arcade. I arrived at the arcade, ready to spend some cash on some fun games. I didn't want to be stuck at home on a Sunday. Besides, the arcade always had something new to play, no matter how often you came. I began to wander the aisles of machines, scanning over them to find a good game to play. I had played a lot of the games already with Suzu, so it was just a matter of finding a good one. What I finally caught my attention was a crowd of people surrounding a group of machines. I got closer and peeked through the crowd to see Suzu sitting in a racing game versus two other players who were on the same machine behind Suzu's. From the looks of it, Suzu was losing, and that was causing her angered face.
You're going down!
Kiss my Italian ass!
I stifled a giggle, watching Suzu remain playful under stress. She was adorable but feisty, truly a spicy Italian. I observed as Suzu finally cut up to her opponents and passed them with ease.
What the?
Moron jerk. Right, that's so nice.
Hurry it up!
Later, losers!
I don't see them acting jerk-like or moron-like, but what do I know? The crowd began to cheer, watching Suzu beat out the guys and slide into first place. As the lights and sounds began to blare into celebration, the two jerks left the machine in a huff, and Suzu stood up. Really, I don't understand. They weren't being jerks, they were just playing the game. Nobody was trash-talking anybody, to my knowledge.
Good game, everyone.
Slowly, the crowd began to disperse, leaving me standing to applaud for Suzu alone. Suzu smiled as she finally saw me walking over to me.
Hey, what brings you here?
I didn't want to be stuck at home, so I came here. I need to have some fun after yesterday.
Yeah, man, I get you. Yesterday was full of tightwad business guys. Me and Naomi were pretty uncomfortable, too.
Then why did you come and talk to me? Don't be antisocial. Really? I'm sorry about that. Suzu laughed and waved her hand in dismissal of it. She then leaned against the racing game and put her hands in her pockets.
So what do you plan on doing here?
Let's play a game together.
Oh, really? What game do you think you could beat me at?
I think we could do some major damage and beat our high scores in robot extermination. Suzu grinned from ear to ear, nodding before taking my hand and heading over to the machine in question. It was cute to see Suzu like this. She was always the adventurous type, and I love that side of her beyond anything. I guess that's what kept our friendship strong for so long. Eventually, we did reach a large machine covered with images of robots disguised as animal mascots and blood. We took up our plastic guns and swiped our game cards across the credit slot, giving our credits to the game to play. I'm not much into mecha. Don't kill me!
You take left, I take right?
As usual, let's go. The game quickly started up and we blasted our way through hordes of robots, landing more headshots than professional shooter tournament players. Suzu and I had played the game so often it pretty much had become our go-to high score game. We always kept the top 5 slots in the leaderboard for ourselves. As we finished the first level though, we were stunned to see the new leaderboard at the loading screen.
Someone took number 1?
Oh, hell no. Alright.
You maxed that level, right?
Mm-hmm. Suzu looked at me with a very familiar, deadly look in her eyes. She was determined to regain number 1. So was I. That's so cute. I knew what this meant. No deaths, quick reloads, and consistent headshots and Easter egg points. The whole experience itself ran 2 hours straight with the main game and its sequel programmed into the machine. Once you finished one, you immediately began the next until you reached the end of the second game. At least it had some cutscenes to take breaks between. That's some pretty well thought out arcade game. It'll be tough, but we got this. Suzu nodded before putting her game card in the breast pocket of her jacket and readying herself for the next level. I braced myself for a long game.
Hey Anderson, let's make this a little more fun. Whoever has the least amount of headshots has to treat the other to lunch.
It's almost 2 p.m., Suzu.
There's such a thing as late lunch.
Alright, you're on.
Second level. Start.
And we were off. Virtual bullets began to fly across the screen, slamming into the heads of multiple robots and causing them to fall to the floor and die out. One by one, Suzu and I burnt through the game like our lives depended on it. We eventually had a crowd form behind us, cheering us on and offering us food so that we wouldn't have to leave the machine. Well, that's nice. Most of them were guys who liked the girl on gun action, alright, but some of them were actually excited bystanders, hoping that we would take back our high score. We snacked a bit, taking breaks between cutscenes and level changes, but we remained true to our goal. Eventually, we made it to the final boss, a giant black bear robot with red eyes and deadly attacks.
Let's go, Anderson!
Right behind you! The crowd behind us began to cheer as we began our final battle. Our legs were a little wobbly, but we were too into the game to care. All we cared about was the large red bar at the top of the screen, slowly emptying with each bullet we fired into the boss's body. We only had a few shots left when someone called out.
You girls suck!
Without missing a shot, Suzu and I replied at once.
You wish we did!
Alright, you wish we did. Before landing the final blow to our opponent, the death cutscene flashed and played on the screen. The scream of the robot bear booming through the speakers. Suzu and I weren't excited just yet. We were waiting for the high score screen to appear. It was the final high score screen of the entire game, so it was the most important screen in our eyes. Come on, come on!
New high score.
The screen popped up, revealing our code, SCA. Suzu, Capini, and Anderson as the #1 score in the game, knocking down our mysterious Mao opponent to second place. The crowd behind us went ballistic as Suzu and I hugged each other tightly in joy. It was like stepping over a major milestone despite it only being an arcade game. We did it! Woo! The second stat screen came up, separating Suzu and I from our hug in delight. In matters of accuracy, I was better. However, Suzu had more kills and headshots, making her the winner of our little bet.
Booyah! Free lunch!
Alright. Where to, boss?
I just want some drive-thru food. I've been eating way too many home-cooked meals, man. I need at least one unhealthy meal.
Suzu's family was indeed an Italian family, but they are very self-conscious about their food. They were quite possibly the healthiest family I knew. Suzu and I left the arcade, occasionally stopping to be given praise or be asked the question about our gaming skills. We eventually headed out the parking lot, where a decently used jade motorcycle sat with chains around its wheels. Suzu quickly took off the chains and took a seat on the bike, getting out 2 helmets, placing one on her head and ushering me to one on her own head and ushering me to sit behind her. I followed her gesture and made myself comfortable on the leather seat behind her, putting on one of the helmets and wrapping my arms around her waist. I had ridden on her motorcycle before, so this was nothing new to us. Suzu revved the engine and quickly spit out of the lot, driving into the streets towards a fast food joint.
Does Paradise Parlor sound good? I'd love some Paradise Nuggets and cheese fries.
Yeah, sounds good. I could barely hear. It was muffled, but that makes sense because they're on a bike or a motorcycle. We went through the drive-thru and ordered meals for ourselves before heading to my home. Suzu parked in the front, watching me dismount from her bike.
Thanks for late lunch.
It might as well be dinner now. Suzu and I laughed. It was funny how time flew by. Want to stick around and eat together?
Huh? Oh, nah, man. I gotta head back home and watch Francesca while my folks meet up with some bigwigs from the casino.
Oh, okay. See you in school then.
Thanks, though. See ya!
I waved at Suzu as she quickly headed out the gates and back home. I smiled as I watched her go before heading back inside. Suzu stuck around in my mind for a little longer than I expected, but I couldn't help but smile. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. But you just ate dinner! And surprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to sleep that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I felt good. I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly the next morning. No grogginess, no aches, perfectly energized and bright-eyed. Man, how long has it been since I got that much good sleep? I looked to my alarm clock. I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm. Well, hey, I must be lucky today. Karma owed me some luck. After all I had gone through in the merely handful of days, I deserved to get some good luck. Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarms before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz from an incoming text. Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive yet, and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends could let me carpool. I checked the time, 6:30. Perfect. I can eat some breakfast before they come. I packed my bag and carried it downstairs into the kitchen. I quickly made myself coffee and toast, not having time for anything big. I let out a soft sigh in happiness as I sipped my coffee. I still don't like coffee. It felt great. And I felt like nothing could stop me today. Come at me, day. I'm ready for you. I looked to the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the door, checking myself in the passing mirror. I wasn't wanting to impress anyone, but I still needed to look decent. Right. And right on cue, Naomi drove up to the gates with Suzu waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to school, talking about the homework and the coming day. We made it into the school without a hitch. Our lockers were in the same part of the hall, so we quickly unloaded what we needed and got our important books and necessities. First incident of the day. And I don't want to deal. Glare into her soul. I glared at Lysette, feeling wisps of air and magic run through my skin and veins. However, I stopped at what I saw. Around Lysette was a dark purple aura that seemed all too familiar. It was like demon magic, but it seemed to be tamer. I slowly rose to my feet, collecting my belongings as I continued to stare at Lysette. Something was off. As I continued to look at her, the aura grew, forming a shadow behind Lysette, with red eye-like shapes glowing from within its darkness.
Anderson, you alright?
I couldn't respond. I was entranced by a small hum in the air. It was distant, almost like an ethereal whisper you'd hear in horror games. But it was real. It sounded vaguely like a woman humming a tune I didn't recognize. Yeah, I hear it.
Hey, are you okay?
Let's go. We'll be late for class. I suddenly felt the need to walk away, so I did. Naomi and Suzu scrambled to catch up and follow at my new, quickened pace.
Sheesh, Anderson. You look like you saw a ghost.
Are you really okay? That fall was pretty bad.
Think she saw underneath Lysette's cake face and saw the devil itself.
Oh, Suzu, hush!
No, something was wrong with Lysette. It was more than just her being mean. There was something, or someone, watching over Lysette. Or they were watching me behind Lysette. What they were doing, I didn't know, but it was definitely demonic. Surprisingly, the rest of the day went off without another incident. I went to my classes, had lunch, and was anxious to get home. And we're skipping that as well. Oh yeah, fight! No way this was happening. No way I was going to let myself be a victim of this. I gotta remember, what was in that book?
What are you whimpering? Are you praying that the boys will come and save you?
I kept grumbling, trying to remember and shut my eyes. Studying for a brief second wasn't enough to keep a spell in my mind, but I had to try something, anything. All of a sudden, the air grew still and silent. I opened my eyes and looked around and gasped at the sight. Everything was frozen in time, as if the clocks had stopped and everything had followed suit. What the... At first, I instantly wanted to move, but my feet were glued to the ground. I guess I couldn't change time and escape from where I was, but I was still lost. What was I supposed to do? A soft wisp of wind made me turn to a floating light purple orb. I stared as it glowed, giving off a warm feeling. For some reason, this thing made me feel happy and content, despite the situation I was in. My heart felt like crying. Yet I didn't know why. It couldn't have been. Grandfather? As I muttered, the orb slowly grew and faded into a spirit of my grandfather from when I last saw him. I stared up at him, completely shocked that I was correct and that his form was standing in front of me.
I guess it was a good idea to bring the incubi here after all.
Oh. What? Is it really you? What do you mean? My grandfather smiled before patting my head gently. I couldn't feel it, but I knew he tried. So I closed my eyes in acknowledgement before looking at him again.
Sweetie, I'm sorry for not telling you, but I didn't know if you were ready to know.
Go on. That you handled demon magic?
Yes.
Why? What is there to gain from learning and using demon magic?
It wasn't a matter of gaining anything except knowledge. Through magic, I was able to learn more about the demon world and its wonders. I even met your incubi friends.
You met the boys?
Yes, it was I who helped them come here, but it seems it was at the cost of my life.
What? Why? Why sacrifice yourself like that? None of this made sense. He died to bring the incubi to the human world? Why? Why? My mind was practically screaming in anger. I needed answers. With time being frozen, we had all the time in the world. Why would you die for something like that? Why leave us alone? Why leave me alone?
I wasn't intending to, my dear. But now that I'm gone, you have a chance to find yourself without anything hindering you.
What?
Your father had always been so hard on you. I'm to blame for that.
Finally.
He learnt of my studies before he married your mother and pushed me away, promising to never follow in my footsteps.
Oh.
As he was my son, I still loved and cared for him. I helped him in little ways, from paying bills and making sure he had food to come home with by adding money to his accounts. You don't know how hard your father worked to get to where he is now.
Oh. I don't like him any better, I'm sorry. I stared, trying to take it all in. It was true that my dad worked really hard, but I didn't realize how rough he had it.
When you were born, I couldn't have been any happier. I tried to give you as many toys as I could, but many of them were tossed away by your father to protect you from me.
No.
I thought I would never be able to see you, but when I found you on the street, I was blessed enough to be given a chance. After I brought you back to your parents, I asked your mother to convince your father to let you visit me often, and he finally agreed.
Why does Dad hate you so much? Why put that on me?
Your father saw me as a monster. He was afraid I would hurt you. He wanted to protect you from me at all costs, even if it meant becoming a monster to you himself.
You know how this could have been resolved? Talking. Don't keep grudges and just talk to each other. Get to the root of the problem and just talk. Find some compromise. Don't just wait till the last second before it's too late.
You did not know my father. You did not know what he was capable of.
He truly does love and care for you, but he doesn't want you to be as curious as I was.
Too late. Curious?
I chose to learn about magic. I grew curious about it. He thought that was wrong, so when I didn't give it up, he shut me out of his life.
What a stubborn old man.
So I did the only thing I could do. I gave everything I owned to you, including my hidden books your father never knew of.
Why would you... Whoa. I didn't even realize my cell phone was in there. Why? Like, if you knew that Dad didn't like that, why would you do that? My head began to spin. There was too much information. It was all going so fast despite time not moving a single inch.
I'm just so happy that my curiosity stayed with you.
So my grandfather met the incubi. That seemed surreal. I could hardly believe it. Yet here is the spirit of my grandfather telling me. It was almost like a dream. So, you introduced them to the human world?
That's right. I told them about the wonders of our world and they all wanted to come to experience it. So I helped them come over and gave them everything they needed. They traveled everywhere and I helped them as they learned more about humans.
I would demand a prequel. No, I'm joking.
Then, I suddenly stopped breathing. I don't know why, but I believe it was because my time was up.
No.
After I died, the boys tried to come back. However, Malix attacked them instantly when they crossed his path. I used the last bit of my strength to guide them to the estate so they had a place to stay to heal.
I ain't answering. That was awful of me. So that's why they were in the house. But they said they didn't know about the house belonging to anyone.
I never told them it belonged to anyone. I merely told them to head to the estate for shelter until they could learn to live on their own.
If the estate was meant for them, why give it to me?
I never knew your father would move you in so quickly. Even still, you managed to learn of them and learn of the demon world. You even were curious enough to study the magic.
Why not teach me why not teach me when I visited?
You were too young to understand. I was hoping that you would make the choice to learn on your own when you were ready to handle it. And you did. I'm so proud of you.
What are you saying? I've barely begun reading it. I don't remember anything.
I will help you remember.
Then, my grandfather gently bent down and kissed my forehead. All at once, my mind began to fill with spells and history of arcane magic, the demon world, and everything my grandfather had known. I looked up at my grandfather again, now able to remember everything and more as he smiled down at me.
Never forget. Make your own choices and do what you need to do. Don't let someone determine your life for you. If you decide to never look at magic again, I'll understand. But now at least you know it's there.
My grandfather then patted my head before turning and walking away. I tried to follow after, still unsure and lost as ever, but my feet remained stuck to the floor. Wait, please! He didn't turn back, and he didn't stop walking. Soon, he vanished past the wall, leaving me alone once again. I gritted my teeth, trying not to cry. My mind was filled with both the power to defend myself and the large amount of confusion I could never hope to shake off. I could feel the air around me start to move again, so I tightened my hands into fists, trying to push away my concerns. I had to remember. I was Malix's captive. I had no escape. I had to escape. After I escaped, I could figure out my life. Soon, the world around me returned to normal, with Malix mocking me. I closed my eyes and began to mutter a spell from my memory. Spiritus lumine da fortudinem tuam. That is my attempt at Latin. Okay, let me try this again. Spiritus lumine da fortudinem taum. Okay, this is my last attempt. Spiritus lumine da fortitudinem tuam. And I'm gonna stop because people don't know how to stop calling me. Let's try this one more time and just go on because I don't even know how long I'm recording, but I'm gonna keep recording until I at least get past this part. Spiritus lumine da fortitudinem taum. There you go.
What the? Latin? What are you?
Descendo. I don't know. All of a sudden, a wave of light burst from my body, washing over the ruin, pushing the devils away from me to the ground. As the light quickly faded, I shook my head, feeling a small weakness in my legs. Malix quickly hopped up and growled at me, obviously surprised, but irritated beyond belief.
Where did you learn that? I will rip that tongue right out your mouth!
No! Spiritus tenebramum periculum forihibere. I'm sorry.
Come here!
Malix charged at me, dropping the gun that would never hurt me to the floor and reaching for my face. However, I quickly crouched down and covered my head with my arms while a dark magic circle appeared under my feet. Above me, a dark shield appeared, blocking Malix from touching me.
How? You're just a human!
A A human who knows how to fight back. I pushed against the shield, forcing Malix back before standing. I wasn't some damsel in distress. I could fight for myself. I shook out of the sudden appearance of numbness in my hands as I cleared at Malix, challenging him once again to come at me.
Malix! No! Stay out of it! I'll kill this bitch with my own two hands one way or another!
As commanded, Eris stood away from us along with the other devils. The group watching us was lost in intrigue as I stood up against their leader.
Oh, you must think you're some tough shit since you know some demon magic, huh? Well, guess what, princess? Demon magic consumes energy. I could play this all day, and when you finally lose all your energy, your ass is grass.
I might actually die this playthrough. I glared, knowing that what he had said was true. I couldn't hold out forever, but I definitely had the energy to last a while until someone found me, or until I could overpower Malix somehow. Malix charged at me once again, causing me to run backwards to keep some sort of distance. I could feel energy wanting to shoot out of my hands, so I pointed my palms at Malix. Light purple spikes suddenly began shooting from my hands, forcing Malix to skid back. I had terrible aim, only able to scratch the edges of his body, with one or two actually stabbing into his shoulder and leg. Malix growled, pulling them out and throwing them to the ground.
Quit playing around, Malix!
I lowered my hand, feeling the numbness run up through my veins to consume both of my arms. I began to pant, desperate for some relief before continuing. Malix smirked at the sight. Oh, for the love of God, please someone find me, I prayed. I hoped that I wouldn't have to keep fighting. I was becoming desperate. What made everyone in the warehouse drop our fighting faces was the screeching of police sirens coming closer to our location. Malix smirked even wider.
It's time to have fun, boys! Make sure you kill them all!
Already knew this part.
Eris?
Enough, Malix!
Like hell you are! Boys, do as I say!
Malix, it's over. You can't.
Shut your mouth!
Grabbing Malix by the neck and pulling him off of me. Malix started but he wasn't on me. He was like a distance from me.
All this for a bunch of...
Eris looked to me, making me tense up.
Human! I suggest heading home to your pretty boys. You don't want to get involved in a supernatural investigation. It's a pain in the ass.
She then turned back to Malix, glaring daggers into him as he glared back at her.
You really think women are weak? Let me fix that, sweetie.
And with that, Eris vanished into the shadows, taking Malix with her. As I was left alone, the police siren stopped. I looked over to see the incubi with a large police siren megaphone staring at me in surprise.
Where is he? I swear I'm gonna...
He's gone. Eris took him and left. They won't be coming back. Oh, it was so surreal. I was helped by a devil. No, well, yeah, but not really. But I quickly shook off the feeling. I was alive, and that was all that mattered. I fought to stay alive, and there I was. The boys tried to question me, but James cleared his throat, catching the attention of his brothers and me.
Let's just get you home, miss.
Yep. You're gonna have to leave. I'm sorry. Oh, she's saying I'm reckless. I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Come on. Thank you. Why are you here?
Well, I came here to clean up what the boys clearly forgot to clean. Men. So sloppy.
I guess we'll stop here for today. I know there was a lot of interruptions, and I have honestly no idea how long I've been recording, maybe like an hour. But thank you so much for watching, and also for the 135 subscribers. I don't know what to say. I'm just really happy that you guys tune in and actually enjoy my random babbling. But I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye!